Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Starting my show here, I was sitting here eating some banana bread that I made. I'm going to have to actually put together a video to show how I made this gluten-free banana bread. And instead of butter, which I've been having trouble eating butter lately, I guess because I don't have a gallbladder. But anyways, I used coconut oil with some butter flavored powder, and man, I'm telling you, this came out fantastic. And it's homemade. I made it from scratch, and this thing is a really good recipe. I've made it twice now, and I'm confident now that it's an excellent recipe. So tonight's a big night, folks. I'm going to start out with some charts because we've had some downward pressure on our metal prices. And then we're going to go into the portfolios that I've been rebalancing and reorganizing, or not really reorganizing, but I guess restructuring or something is the word I want to use. And we made some really good money over the last 2 years. And I don't know that anybody else actually shows the portfolios like I do and showing these returns. So I'm very pleased with what's been happening. I'm very pleased with being retired to get these unbelievable type returns. So I've been on the right side of the trade for a long time. Now right now, let's look at gold. So here's gold right here. We had a slight breakout, but I waited because I just wasn't sure. We've been fooled before, just like this one before. It looked like it was a breakout. It wasn't, and it came back down. So I'm curious if we're going to bust through this line here, or if we're going to hit this line and come back up like we did before. But we're really close on here to where a normal breakout would occur. You would normally expect this to be right in this range when you look at a pennant formation, and then this thing should be shooting up to like $2,400 or so for the next level. Now when we look at platinum, platinum's gone. Platinum busted out and it's keeping on going. Platinum's doing fantastic. It's kind of range bound here recently, but it's out of its previous range where it was. So we'll have to see, if this is going to continue. That's a really good sign for platinum. Silver busted out and it looks like it's trying to get back in here. So I don't know if it's going to stay held up outside this pennant here, but we're expecting silver to bust up above 30 here soon, but it's just languishing right now outside the pennant. Now, this is an interesting chart. And I kind of learned this from Sylvain-Stillwater. They explained why they were mining multiple metal types, and it has to do because the metals kind of break out in like different seasons, and so being diversified has advantages. So we noticed that, for instance, I drew a line here. This is when gold started breaking out, and this was, say, June in 2019. Silver really didn't start breaking out until June 2020. So a year later, silver broke out. And then now you look at platinum. Platinum looks like it's starting to break out in November this past year. It's kind of interesting the way this is working. And so even though we're having a little bit downward pressure on gold and silver, platinum is holding up. Now, because of the volatility of these metals, I've been doing 70% gold, 20% silver, and 10% platinum. And now that platinum's breaking out, I'm going to go back and evaluate its volatility and see if potentially we should be holding some more platinum. But we've kind of done something else with platinum. Even though we're holding only 10% platinum, back in this time period, back in 2019, I said, hey, we need to be looking at SBSW, because I've been talking for a long time about platinum being gold, and you're getting it at half price. Those who've been following me a long time, I've been preaching, and I said that platinum and palladium kind of swap places, and because industry doesn't like paying $2,000 an ounce for one or the other, and so when one's only $1,000, they switch to that one. But now we have this tri-metal catalyst that is going to kind of even these things out. But look at SBSW. This is Sylvain-Stillwater. Over this time period where platinum is up nearly 25%, Sabine-Stillwater's up 346%, more than 10 times the return. Now that is some leverage, folks. Now this is not a pure platinum play. It's platinum, palladium, rhodium, so it's all the PGM metals, but it's also a gold miner. So this thing is, and it's a mega corporation. These guys, even though we had this crash back in last March, it has just been on a tear. So we are getting leverage wherever possible. I'm trying to get some leverage with these miners, and with a small amount of money we're investing, and more than likely those miners are going to be more valuable than our physicals as time goes on. So we're in the very early stages, and this is starting to show it. So I just want you to be aware that we are on the right path. I've been early on the majority of these things, and so we are making a kill. And I'm telling you, we are early. Just wait. These things are going to explode. So I want you to keep in mind we're doing all the right things. Now I'm going to throw in one little article, and then we're going to go to the portfolios real quick. There's some central banks are looking closely at cryptos and wondering whether they need to do something about this. So there's an article talking about this by Daniel Lacal, and there's even a video in here on Zero Hedge, so you may want to go look at this. But just like anything, you know, they, gosh, dog it, I don't know. I have concerns about these cryptos, and you know what the governments are going to do. They're going to come out with something. They're just going to tell you this is what you're going to use, and everything else will be outlawed. And there was some interesting articles or comments in this from this article in the comment section talking about, you know, governments are probably just going to make it illegal for banks to allow you to cash in Bitcoin into the currency. And when they do that, that just makes the Bitcoin kind of useless. So where are you going to go put your currency, your Bitcoin? Who are you going to sell it to, and how are you going to go be able to buy anything if they do that? There's a lot of interesting things about this. So I don't know. I have major concerns with it. Everybody's telling me they're paper tigers right now, telling us how much money they made, and then that other guy, poor sucker, who lost his password and lost so-called like $200 million because he doesn't know the password for his crypto. So there's some major problems here. Okay, so I want to remind you, in 2019, gold was $12.86, then it went to $15.51, and then $18.95 right at the beginning of the year. And then silver went $15.71, $18.80, $26.46. Platinum $8.20, $89, $9.57, and $10.78. So you can see 47% return since 2019, 68% for silver, and then 31% for platinum. But our miner portfolio was up 108.8. And we had two really good years, 54.6 return and 35% return. And then the ETF portfolio, and you know, we went from 19,000 over 40,000 here, and then this one was 19,000 to 38,000. So 98% return. Essentially both of these doubled your money in 2 years. God dang, people, do you even have a clue how hard that is to do that? And yet we did it with extremely low risk. So think about that. Now let's go look at the ETF portfolio that's been redone. And so now the new baseline is 38,180, yet we were at 19,000 2 years ago. So we're now at 38,180. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's our ETF miners. Remember, we've only got 5 different ETFs here. We have 3 gold-related ones and 2 silver-related ones. So this is large gold miners, junior gold miners, explorer gold miners. We have large silver miners and junior silver miners, but there's no explorers in the silver side. So this is what we ended up at the end of the year. We had a 27.27% return, and this is year to date after I've rebalanced it. Now I want to show you what I did. I ended up, so there's really no change. I just ended up redoing it to where this amount, 38,180 that we had at the end of the year, becomes the basis for this year. And the amount that we have in each one of the ETFs, I didn't change the allocations in any way. And I was targeting 2 years ago, starting with 80% gold, 20% silver. And so you can see we're just slightly out of balance, but it's not enough to worry about doing anything. So I've left this basically alone. And we're going to just let silver run, and we'll go from there. But that is the allocation, the way it's set up, and it's zeroed out. And so right now we're down 7% for the year. And basically, the junior silver miners getting hammered, but luckily we're holding a very small amount of that, so it's not hurting the portfolio that much. The thing that's really getting hit right now are the junior gold and the silver by themselves. So, anyways, that's where we're at, and we're going now when we go look at our physical ETF representations, we were up 25% for the year for gold, 11% for platinum, and 47% for silver. Now, I've rebalanced this, and I have some thought process in what I'm doing. And remember, this is what I'm doing. You can do anything you want, but again, I'm a conservative investor, so I take calculated risks. And I look at the volatility quotient of these three different metals. And so previously I was doing 70% gold, 10% platinum, and 20% silver. When I look at the VQ of 11, which the lower the number, the lower the volatility, versus silver is 22.6, with platinum at 19.1. So platinum has a fairly high volatility like silver does. But because of what I talked about earlier, where I think the season for platinum is now, I want to keep my allocation. In fact, I've adjusted it back to 70% for gold because it's about protection, and I'm trying to limit the volatility to get the most possible return with the least amount of risk. So I've decided to add some additional money into gold to bring it back up to 70%, and I decided to double the allocation of platinum and then take away from some of the silver to accomplish this. So this is the new adjusted value we have. In this case, you can pick anything you want, but in this case, I just put some numbers like 240,000 for gold, 60,000 for platinum, and then 44,000 for silver. I've left my allocation for residential in here the same, and it's just because this is kind of representing some of the potential holdings that people might have. This is only like a few houses if you have rental properties, and that's what that would add up to. So this is the new allocation down here, and because residential REZ is up, it's offset any losses we've had so far in the physicals, and so you can see we're essentially even for the year to date so far. So that's the new layout for the portfolios. It's already zeroed in. I've already also done the improved portfolio that the members, gold and platinum members, get to see that portfolio, and it's all redone. I've got to go pick a few more stocks to fill it in, but it's reallocated. And then I've also got to zero out John Duty's for year to date as well. So anyways, all right, so I have some sad news. Unfortunately, I had to put Lucky down, the white dog here. He was a rescue that I'd gotten about 1.5 years ago. You probably remember when I introduced him to you, but he's been struggling and was getting more and more puny, and it was just frustrating. The doctors couldn't figure it out, and today we got some definitive stuff that we just couldn't do anything to save him. There was no guarantees doing any significant surgeries and things like that, and so the doctors recommend that we need to put him down because he was suffering, and it breaks my heart. So I just wanted to share with you that dog was a special dog in my heart, unbelievably sweet dog. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.
You going to get in the car? We're not quite ready. I'm almost ready. You almost ready? Okay.